What's the scene, people? This is Matthew, and this is another episode of What's the Scene. And today, once again, we have special guest Thimothy Ali.
Hey guys.
And Sommerleigh Pollonais.
Hello, hello.
And we are here to celebrate 50 years, folks.
Wow.
50 years of an iconic horror film.
That's what he was leading towards one of our ages.
I was just about to announce nobody here is 50 years old.
Yes. I don't know. I feel like I'm 50-year-old right now. Let's talk about this movie. Yeah?
Hey, that's the beautiful thing about film. Film is immortal.
Yes, it is.
Timeless.
Yes. And this movie here is timeless. Say what you want about its history and its execution, but there's no denying how influential and yes,
Absolutely.
how timeless this movie is and will be. Of course, we are talking about the first film from legendary director, the late great, rest in peace,
Yep.
George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Yes, folks, and this is the official Criterion release for this. I strongly recommend you guys check it out. It is restored beautifully in 4K. We will have a little 4K discussion about it, but in this case here, this is like the best you will ever see this movie. And I'll talk about how it has been portrayed over the years visually, right? But yes.
When last did you watch this copy? Because I just.
Oh, you mean this copy?
I only lent it yesterday, no?
No. See what you did there. So, Night of the Living Dead, debut feature from George A. Romero, born in Pittsburgh, and this movie was filmed entirely in Pittsburgh, literally right in his backyard, in a way.
Yes. On a shoestring budget
on a shoestring
of
budget.
$110,000.
110. I thought it was 100,000.
Yeah, we were just saying 100,000.
It was written by George A. Romero and John Russo. Also, what was interesting was the musical score. Because, when you listen to it, right? And yes, we will go into spoilers, right? When you do listen to the score, you would think that it was some guy who just composed it just based off of the film itself. But actually, it's library music. Yes, it was music that was recorded years ago that they just found. So call it royalty-free music, if you will. But in this case, you just had to go and search for it. And they use it for sci-fi and horror films for the 50s. Romero was just so into how music cues work. So it's not like he would just play a whole song out and just cut it to match what's going on in the music. He knew what cues to use because, he shot the film. He co-edited the film as well. So he knew what pieces of music to use and he just spliced it in so well. That's the way how the score was designed as well too. It was pretty groundbreaking as well.
Because I have that in my notes too, and one of the things throughout the movie, I don't know if you noticed, there were always crickets in the background. From the time they went to the night shot, there was crickets throughout until morning time.
Yeah.
To ensure you knew it was night. You felt that darkness.
Right.
Yes. But before we get to the actual movie itself, we have to talk about the influence of this movie. We start off with George A. Romero himself. He just basically wanted to make a movie that they would show in drive-in theaters, right?
Yes.
So it was similar to how Sam Raimi got his first break with The Evil Dead. He just looked at what was showing at drive-in theaters. Oh, horror's big. Okay, well here's what. I got to start off with The Evil Dead. So, he got inspired by Romero. And in his case, though, he just came up with the idea of, these undead characters.
Yes.
Well, in the movie they're called ghouls, right? Which is interesting.
Yes.
The word zombie is never ever mentioned in the movie at all, right?
I think the first time something's called a zombie is
Dawn.
Dawn of the
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, I think so.
You'll get to Dawn.
And they barely use the word dead either in
Yeah,
the movie.
because they call them things and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Little piece of a review here. I like that the first time they mention it is they are assassins that suddenly just start to kill people.
Yes.
I thought that was real cool though, call them assassins.
Yeah.
One little story I just want to mention briefly is Roger Ebert. When he first saw it, the late great Roger Ebert, he's one of my role models, by the way, right? This movie actually showed as a matinee, right? I think it was some Saturday matinee. So he went to watch it, and they were there's a bunch of kids and teens there watching this thing. Yeah? So he was thinking, oh well, this is just gonna be some kind of schlocky movie with some monsters running about, and you scream and you have fun with it. He said that halfway into the movie, the audience was silent, deadly silent. Because they were just seeing things that just scared the shit out of them. The moment where, if you haven't seen it, the moment where the zombies started feeding on the flesh, the two victims.
Yes.
Right.
Quiet. People were just stunned. They did not know what to make of what they saw. So yeah, afterwards, kids just came out of it scared shitless, right?
Yeah, that's where we get into groundbreaking territory. I used to laugh at this. You have, like, for example, the Wolfman.
Yeah.
And he's a wolfman, but he would strangle everybody that he was killing.
Yes.
It would always be a strangulation shot. And I think even like the creature from the Black Lagoon, you would never actually see anybody killing somebody. It would be implied.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, somebody would talk about whatever gruesome thing happened. Here you were actually seeing these people, like, granted it was ham covered in chocolate or something like that,
Yeah.
but you
But
were
it still
actually
looks
seeing
graphic
them.
too.
Yeah, you see flesh tearing. And I try to always picture myself, like, being an audience member in that timeline,
In 1968.
seeing that for the first time, how much that would mess you up
Yeah.
to see something like that,
But then, of course, 1978 came around, and then he came out with what I would easily say is one of the greatest sequels ever made, Dawn of the Dead. And my history with it is that I saw, my history with Dawn of the Dead is that I saw the remake first, right, from Zack Snyder, his debut film, and I still say that that
Excellent
is one of the
remake.
best remakes
Excellent remake,
ever
Excellent
made.
remake, yeah.
Great way to come in. I mean, what that did in terms of the zombie genre in the 2000s was great. It was visceral, it was in your face, it was just so badass, right?
And the way it starts, it does
Yeah,
not
that
let
starting
up.
was-
It does not let up.
That title
it doesn't
sequence,
drag
wow.
at any real point of the film.
But with 1978's Dawn of the Dead, this is what put George A. Romero to a whole new level, boy. Because, you look at something like of 1911 Dead and be like, well, it's not that bloody, it's not that scary. But with color now, and now in the late 70s, and with no rating here, that man just went over the top. That man just went out of the way to just disgust
again,
people.
it's progressing with the horror genre.
Yeah.
As the horror genre, as the years progress, the 60s and 70s, horror was very brutal.
Yes.
And it's basically very much a representation of what was going on with the war and the way people felt about the world in general,
Yeah.
crime and all of that. So horror, if you look at it, it's a lot of 60s and 70s, a lot of very gruesome, like I Spit on Your Grave, The Last House on the Left. It gets very violent. So this matches that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But then there was Day of the Dead, which came out in 1985, I think it was. And this one, to me, was the bleakest of all of them.
Yeah.
This one was just more showing humans as being so incredibly evil,
Yeah.
as that we take these zombies and we do all these weird experiments on them and we torture them. And
We
it's
have
underground
Bob the
chamber.
Zombie. And it's like,
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
right.
This is where the question starts to be asked, like, who's the real monster?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, that one, it's not my favorite of it. I get where he's coming from, but I don't know, it just had this kind of bleak nature to it where it's like, I just hate these humans. I just hate all of them. I
Yeah.
want them to die. I don't even remember if all of them did die. Well, all of them in that underground place.
Yeah.
But it was like, yes, they're dying. Yes,
And
get back
the
at them.
soldiers in it were just so heartless. You
Yes,
know? It's
yes,
like,
yes.
Not exactly sure what, and I guess it was kind of showing you just how should I say, desensitized soldiers could get in a time of war. You know, because they were definitely just about themselves and their own survival. You know, they didn't even care about really finding a cure. They just wanted to destroy everything.
Yeah.
You know, did not want to find the humanity, or even if there was a way. Because say what you want about the doctor, but he was trying to find a way to communicate to see if, okay, maybe these zombies are not all dead inside. Maybe there is something to regain there, you know. And like I said, there's a lot of commentary going on there as well.
Yeah. Cut to some years later now, and there was the remake of 1911 Dead, which you saw. I remember it being in theaters, but I personally never got around to seeing it because I think it was because when I was young, I just stayed away from horrors. And
But like I said, that was the version I saw first,
Right.
starring Tony Todd. And for me, it's almost a shot-for-shot remaker.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just, like we said, the character of Barbara is a lot stronger.
Right.
She's kind of like Ripley, almost.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
in her transition, in
Yeah.
her evolution in that
well, it
film.
was the early 90s, that's it. You
Yes.
kind of have to do that.
Yeah, so I really, that one has a really special place in my heart. But of course, this is the gold standard, you know.
Of course, yeah. So the film starts up with the character of Barbara, right? The iconic, "They're coming to get you, Barbara," right?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
So you know that moment, right? They both notice this one particular guy just shuffling, right? And they're wondering what's going on. And then, of course, we realize that this is our first ghoul. I don't want to say zombie
Yes.
as yet, right? Ghoul attacks Johnny. Johnny gets hit over the head. But then, of course, at least this chase where Barbara is escaping, she sees this old farmhouse, right? Later on, when we actually get to the actual night now, a guy shows up in a truck. It just so happens to be the star of the show, Dwayne Jones, who plays Ben. And he shows up roughly like 15 minutes into the movie, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
At first you think it is Barbara's movie and it's
Yes.
about her trying to survive,
Yeah.
but no,
I
it's
thought
actually
so.
Ben. Ben is such a great character in this
Yes.
film. When he comes in, it's like, all right, we need to get gas for this truck.
Yes.
There's no gas? Okay, cool.
Very
Well, we need to
take
board up
charge,
this house.
intelligent
Yeah.
All right,
character.
yeah. Is there any wood? Let's go get some wood. Let's
Yes.
take this old rickety door. Let's break that up, or whatever it is. Get some nails. Get a hammer. You know, he's always thinking. I
Yeah.
love that about his
Yes.
character. But unfortunately, when it gets to Barbara now, and I kind of understand why, because
Yeah, when
she
she
is
gets
shook.
shocked. Yeah.
And Ben is like, well, look, you need to snap out of it. I know you're scared, but we need to move. We need to board up these windows and doors.
Yeah.
And she's just like, we need to go and get, Johnny's still alive. Johnny's still alive. You know what I mean? And it's like, don't shut up. Don't stop worrying about that. We need to survive, right?
Yeah.
But you know, while I think it is about the two of them basically surviving. The movie
Yeah.
could have just been that. We learn that there are more tenants in the house. We learn that there is this guy, his name is Harry Cooper. He was hiding out in the basement all the time with his wife and his sick daughter. And then there's another couple that are hiding out as well while Ben and Barbara were doing their stuff. And what I like about Harry is that he's saying that, you know, the basement is the best place to be in. But the argument is that, so you were there all this time and hearing all this commotion, and you didn't even bother to come and see what's going on,
In a
right?
way, Harry was right. The basement was the best place because
Yeah.
nobody checked in the basement.
Because his thing is, we'll just wait it out until the morning
Yeah.
and then we'll go. That's the plan. But of course, as they come out into the living room and they start to interact with each other, and outside is just more and more of these ghouls coming.
Yes.
And they start to get a little bit more intelligent, you know, but while at the same time Ben learned some things about them. For one thing, what I love about this film here is that it sets up the whole hit the zombie in the head, you know.
Yeah.
That was the first instance of you seeing that. First is hit them in the head, but then you realize, oh well, you could shoot them in the head too. All the existing TV and radio stations at the time in the area, created this hub, this information hub.
Yeah.
So once they get information, they funnel
Yeah,
it
they
back to
adopt it.
us.
Yes. So a very intelligent way to tell the audience what's happening without it coming across like exposition.
Yes.
Yes.
Because at first you're telling yourself, well, all right, this is a zombie movie.
Yeah.
So how come they didn't know that, you know, once you die, you will come back
Yeah.
undead? And then later
But
on in
this
the
is
film,
interesting.
they say that, well, there was a guy in this medical place and he had a cadaver, you know, all of his
Yeah.
limbs were cut off and
Yeah.
it came to life.
Yes.
So yes, the undead will come back to life. So you
Yeah.
have to burn the bodies. And earlier in the film, you saw Ben actually burn one of the dead
Yes.
zombie or the dead ghouls, and put it outside, and then that scared off the other ghouls.
Yes.
So the first time I saw this movie was on TV6, and
Probably. Yeah,
which is interesting because it was like late night now. One of the rare instances where you used to show
Yes.
movies late night right
Yes.
after news. But the odd thing about it is that I saw the colorized version of this. Yes, it was a color version of this. The color version was like, all right, not really working, but I get the premise. I got what was going on, and then I saw it on Sci-Fi in black and white, right? Sci-Fi channel back when you used to show good shit.
When
Yes.
sci-fi was SCI.
Yes, when SCI-FI, right? Great, good old days, right? Another thing I want to bring up too is that it was in public domain for so much years, so that you could go on this website called archive.org. I don't know if the site still exists or if the link still exists, but that was where you could have gone to see the movie, and the
Okay.
quality for that was just so bad. It was just so bad. And that's why I was so happy when this came out. I was like, okay, well, look at the quality of this. And it
Yeah.
just looks so much better. I know I had releases on DVD and Blu-ray over the years,
Yeah.
but this to me was the first time I ever saw it in 4K. This was like the perfect one. So I'm glad that it left public domain in terms of the visual and got a lot better over the
Yeah.
years. Well, Timothy, you said this was the first time you saw Night of the Living Dead. How come? How exactly?
They just didn't get around to it because in probably let's say the past 10 years, you
Yeah.
have so much TV series,
Yeah.
you have so much movies that you see. It's just time.
Yes.
And I actually watched this movie this morning, and
This
back-
morning, huh?
yeah, this morning. And back in the day when there wasn't any CGI, There wasn't any
Yes.
change in aspect ratio. There wasn't much. All you had was the dialogue, and the dialogue was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you had camera angles, and it was actually a very intelligently shot movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because even they use some images, like they use the foreground a lot
Yes.
in Night of Living It. And there was this one scene I remember. Well, I remember the whole movie. I saw it just now, right? So there was this
This morning.
one shot where Barbara opened like a lantern, and it revealed her eyes through it.
Yes.
And that was a very memorable scene because
Yeah.
back in 1968, it was very intelligent to use that because there wasn't any focal length, it wasn't
Yes.
any depth of field.
Mhm.
Everything was just one flat image. In the third act, they didn't use it as much because there was a lot more going on. But in the first act, that first act made the movie for me.
Right.
The first act was really the iconic scenes and the iconic shots.
Yes.
And at some points, the dialogue with her brother was really good.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love
That
those
first
moments.
Yes,
5
it is,
minutes.
yeah.
That is what will captivate
Yes.
anybody. And then even when she got shell shocked,
Yeah.
it was good because her being shell shocked captivated you more,
Yeah.
Yes.
and it annoyed you to a point where it's so annoying that it's going to be memorable.
Yeah. Like, do something now. I know you're
Yeah.
scared.
And the other thing that really stood out to me is in 1968, there was always still the damsel in distress, as we were talking about before.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, because Barbara is very much a product of her time. That
Yeah.
damsel character. I mean, you put that character in a movie now, and people be like, "What the hell?" You first of all, feminists would go insane.
Of course.
Right?
You would see woman turn on
Yeah,
Queen's Park over
exactly,
Pickett,
you know?
like, no way.
But it works then. I can forgive it because it's definitely what people pictured female characters would be like then. I'm not saying she's an actual representation of real females because women were badass all through time.
Hell yeah.
Right? But it works for me in the movie, especially like you guys said, considering what she had been through,
Yeah.
what she had seen. I
In the
know
space of
men
20
who
in the
would
space of
shut
20
down
minutes.
in a situation like that. And
Yeah.
I would even compare it to Harry hiding in the basement. That is a form of cowardice.
Yes.
Right.
You know, granted, he's saying I'm protecting my family. It's just about me keeping my family safe. I don't really care what happened to you guys. But it's a form of cowardice.
Yes.
You know.
So, Summer, what is your history with Night of the Living Dead? I know you are a horror connoisseur.
Yeah.
So, yes, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about the visuals, the things you remember that stand out to you, the iconic moments. The graveyard shot, of course, Johnny standing over Barbara. I just try to remember those glasses on him
Yeah,
and how it
yeah.
made him look even more creepy in that moment. The zombies eating that first body.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're watching them tear that away, and I remember seeing that, being younger, seeing that, and being like, "Oh my God!" You know, because you actually now you can look at it and you can tell what it is, but back then you couldn't, you know.
You saw it on TV or
I think
you
I saw it
the
on
cable?
television at first. Yeah,
Right.
I saw it on I think I saw it on local television. I honestly remember it as being black and white for me. I
Right.
don't remember seeing a colored version. The boarding up of the house, the hands coming through.
Yes.
And Dwayne Jones, he is what sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
As Ben, and that I remember that final moment. What happens with Ben?
We'll get to
just-
that. We'll get
I'm
to
not
that.
gonna say anything. I just remember. You know, have you ever watched a movie and long after it's done, you're shell shocked. You
Yeah,
can't really
yeah.
move because it's almost like you think that can't be it. That can't be the way
Yeah, that
it
can't be the
goes.
end of the movie.
Just
They're
say we talk
very-
about Avengers. Just say that's what we're talking about.
There are very few movies that have done that to me.
Yeah.
I think I could count them on one hand, including Infinity War. But it's like, I was just there like, but that's
But
the hero.
why?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
why?
the hero, you know? So, yeah, the visual moments for me, with the dialogue, but,
Yeah.
you know, as somebody who hasn't seen it recently, those visuals have stuck with me all through the years.
Yeah, that dramatic pause mentally, like
Yes.
this.
Yes. It's like,
No.
Yeah.
you
No.
know and now and as an adult when you think back on what those themes represent, and it's like the impact is even worse, you know, when you think about it.
So just to get to the climax of the film, right? When zombies come in with Harry having the gun and then Ben throwing that piece of wood at him and then taking the gun from him, and then Ben shoots Harry, right, to incapacitate him now.
Yeah.
At the time when I watched it again, I was like, you shot the guy now. Like I know that there was this beef going on.
Yeah.
They didn't like each other.
Funny moment
But
they
like,
met.
all right, I know you're thinking it's like a last minute decision, but I wouldn't have shot the guy though.
Yeah.
Like I'd have just put him down, like I don't know, knock him with the butt of the gun, but not shoot him though. And then it goes even further when his wife is killed. Well, Harry's wife is killed by her daughter. I thought
Yes.
that moment was
Yes,
very, very, well
memorable.
done. Very
Yes,
memorable,
very
right?
memorable moment. It has become a horror trope, in that you have that one person in the group that's bitten,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
either deliberately doesn't reveal it, or the group as a whole are not aware that a bite can cause you to turn,
Yeah.
and that person is locked in a room with other people.
Right.
So it's always it's kind of a tool that's used. Well, now I think it's lazily used, but it's a way to
Sure.
get them from point A to point B, because okay, we're safe here, but then this one person turns and starts attacking people, so everybody scatters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here it was original. 'Cause
Exactly,
it's never been
right.
done
Right, that's
before.
not when you
And
say that.
Yeah.
I feel almost like it's also a metaphor for like children tend to grow up and not devour their parents literally, but you know, you could always say that like if you have an animal, the child is going to grow eventually to
Yeah.
overtake the adult, you know?
Well, that's a real good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You know, like when I was looking at that, I had to treat it like, okay, this is 968.
Yeah.
So it's literally like near the end of the second act where the news reporter says, the undead will rise, right?
Yeah.
And when you realize, oh shit, so if the daughter is dead, then
Yes.
right. So what, like I said, you know, you're learning things as the story progresses. What also threw me as well was when Barbara's brother Johnny shows back up again as a zombie. That great shot of him with the glove on. I thought that was a great scene. But also with her being grabbed eventually by Johnny and the other zombies.
Yeah.
And I thought that, okay, now I understand it's survival of the fittest here. So I thought Ben would be all heroic and go and try and save her. It's like, nope.
No.
He just runs into it. He realizes, well, look, there's really nothing else I can do. There's nowhere else I can go. So I'm going to go in the basement. And that's what he does.
But that's the thing, the character of Ben is very pragmatic through the
Yeah.
entire thing. So you know he's very intelligent. So I think he would assess very quickly, if I try to save her, I'm gonna get overwhelmed too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to be done. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben's character is rather complex, so I really did enjoy his performance. Dwayne Jones, he's excellent though. A lot of people kind of read too much into the movie and felt like they intentionally cast a black man to play the lead.
Yeah.
When in actuality, it's just like, no, Dwayne Jones was the best actor.
Yeah.
So let's have him play the lead.
The actor who played Harry as well became very good friends with with Dwayne Jones.
Oh, nice.
And
Even though they
yeah.
kind of hate each other. in the
Such
movie.
good friends, in fact, that when Jones passed away, he took it very, very hard. So whenever he has to talk about him in interviews, he tends to break down a bit. So
I see.
yeah.
The ghouls themselves, the zombies, if you will. Let's just call them zombies now. For its time, you know, it's simple, it's basic.
Yeah.
It's just
For its
walk
budget-
slow,
for its
walk
budget as
shuffling.
well.
You know.
For the
Yeah, for the
budget
budget
as
as well.
well, yeah.
But the moment though that really stood out to me, like yes, by 968 standards, so it's still very disturbing though, was when the young couple dies, or when they try to escape in the truck blows up,
yes, yeah.
and then the following scene is just these zombies ripping apart them.
Yes.
One guy has the
Yeah.
intestines
Yeah.
and just ripping apart the flesh there. And what makes it even creepier is the music though. This
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
droning
Yeah, yeah,
music. And I don't know what, like my paws start to raise when I just
Yeah.
hear this and just seeing these guys ripping off flesh, just eating these humans now. And I think that what makes it even more disturbing is that just the other day they were these characters that you saw and you
Yes.
kind of appreciate.
You got to know them,
And-
you got to connect with them, and then boom.
Yeah, now there's zombie food, like jeez, I mean
Yeah.
that's an incredibly disturbing scene now. And now we get to the finale way. The finale way, the ultimate gut punch way, and then seeing it here way, I was like, okay, this scene still holds up. I literally
It
had to
does.
rewatch it kind of frame by frame to really make sure I got what went on, right?
Yeah.
So essentially what happens is that on the morning after, Ben comes out from the basement, which is ironic because once again the whole idea was, stay in the basement, right?
Yeah.
And he's hearing gunshots going off, right? So it's this redneck posse, right? So they go around
Yeah.
just
Just
cutting
killing
down
everything.
zombies, right?
Yeah, they're just having a grand
Left,
old
right,
time.
and
Yeah,
center.
like
Yeah.
plucker, whatever. Here's one over there,
An
plucker.
excuse to shoot their guns. Yeah.
So, I laugh at here, but this is really serious though. So Ben going towards the window, right? And the leader of the group tells this guy,
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
and then it just stops, and then you just hear this creepy ass music. These like stock photos, which I thought was a great way to end off the movie
It was,
while the
yeah.
credits roll. And literally, when you look at it, it's just like these white guys come inside the house, see the dead body, see the dead black guy, and it pull out these hooks
Yeah.
and using that to bring him outside
Yeah.
and put him on top of like this pile of all these other dead bodies.
Like real butcher
And-
hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and torch the guy,
Yeah.
burn the bodies. And like when I saw that, boy, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like the first couple of times I saw, I was like, well, all right, that was a kind of weird way to end the movie off. So it was like it was a downer.
So much is being said in that final
Yeah.
frame. Yeah.
But right, looking at it now, it's like that is such a powerful way to end the movie,
Yeah.
and it fits perfectly, you know. Because like I said, well, at first you're saying, well, this had nothing to do with the movie. Well,
Yeah.
zombies didn't really die; you kill a human, and that's why you end the movie.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point there? But in this case, it works well because like people would misinterpret. Well, sorry, not misinterpret. Would read into the movie a lot, you know,
Yeah.
and it's understandable. So people would say it's a commentary on the Vietnam War, it's a commentary on America at the time, or the American dream was being destroyed, right? And then ironically, around the time when the movie came out, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated.
Yeah.
So people well read into that and then like, oh shit, a black man got killed by a white man.
Yeah.
Look at that. But to me, how I saw it is like, look at the title, Night of the
I
Living
totally
Dead.
agree with you.
Yeah.
This is the reality that Ben has to face.
Yes.
Even if it's not looking forward to seeing zombies and killing zombies for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
he is party living dead, and look at how easy he got killed.
Yes.
Because yes, I had to look at it again because I was like, wait, that man made a mistake, right? He probably thought that there was a zombie in the house. It's like when I watch again, no. There's no way, because the
Yeah.
following scenes with them looking down and seeing him and the hooks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, that was intentional. It's just like, well, these news, because you saw some newscasters there.
Yeah.
They were literally to the background and they literally get pushed aside.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, let me just go. Let's just continue just shooting down people.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a guy in the house. He has a gun.
Yeah.
When he went inside, they saw him with the gun. Because I
Yeah.
look at that shot, he had the gun when he fell down. You can't tell me that. Oh well, it was a mistake.
Yeah.
No, they just took the hooks, grab him outside like nothing,
And that was it.
and burn the body. So take that however it is you want to. So I thought that was powerful.
I see two ways of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can leave in the racial element
Yeah.
and say that here were a gang of rednecks that would they basically saw an opportunity to kill a black man with no repercussions.
Yeah.
But you can even, I think what might be worse is taking the race out of it and saying here are a group of people who just enjoy killing.
Yes.
And this
Right.
is an excuse for them to
Yeah.
go around just shooting anything they see that is not them.
Yeah.
And I think you ask yourself which one is worse, and it's like the humanity is gone. They are
Yeah.
the living dead, you know?
And just to simplify
Yeah.
a bit, right? Because going back to the casting of Dwayne Jones,
Yes.
if they got a white man to play the lead, like think about it, it's
Yes.
still
It
a human being being killed.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I could absolutely take race out of it, and it's still as impactful a scene, especially the fact that they came in with meat hooks.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because
yes.
you are nothing to them but flesh,
Yeah.
cattle,
Yeah,
whatever.
dead carcass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
carcass.
It's a game to them. It's
Yes,
like whatever.
it's a game, exactly that. For all
Yeah.
they know, they're probably going around saying, okay, 100 points for a headshot and 50 points for chest and whatever.
Yeah, because it felt like the one with the hat, like he was just in charge.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, just tell them, hey,
Yes.
look that guy over there, shoot him.
Exactly, you know?
There was nobody
Yeah.
to answer to.
Yeah. But what do you think about the conclusion of the movie? Well, first time that you saw it.
I didn't read too much into it. As I said, I just saw it this morning. And usually it takes time for a movie to sink in
Yes,
and for you
yeah.
to understand it.
Yeah.
And it was unexpected. I didn't expect
yes.
that.
Yes.
I thought, hey, you know what? Ben was coming out of it. He was
Yes.
a survivor. Now, from the beginning of the movie, when he was introduced and I realized he's going to be the lead, I questioned myself. I was like, wait, 1960,
Yeah.
a black actor
Yes.
is going to be the lead.
Yes.
And going down to the end, I was like, wow, this movie is really paying off.
Yes.
To have him survive till the end.
Yes.
And then that shot happened in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It
He didn't even have time to react. It's just
Yeah.
pow. That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
It was unexpected. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah.
And when I tried to let it soak in, I was like, if I force feed myself this now,
Yeah.
I'm going to be taking something away. So I need to watch it again.
Yes.
Probably like a week to actually pay attention from the beginning, to listen to the dialogue, to be what is being said throughout, to understand if there is like a racial undertone to it.
Yes.
Or if, as you said, it's just about any of my movies Living Dead, and if everybody just has to die at the end, or if you want to go as far as to say it's just this group of rednecks just going around
Yes.
just killing
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
So I think probably on my second viewing I'll be able to appreciate it. Or appreciate is the wrong word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understand.
Dissect
Understand,
it.
yeah,
Yes,
to
yes,
dissect
yes.
exactly what's happening from the beginning.
Yes.
So yeah, that is for me one of the darkest, most bleak, the most bleak way to actually end a movie, you know, regardless of its genre. But for me, just looking back at this movie here, I am just amazed at how it still stood up over
Yeah.
50 years. It still resonates to this day. While it's still rough around the edges, especially with the delivery dialogue, some of the acting, couple of punch scenes with Ben that was kind of fake, like when he
Yeah.
punches Harry, you
Yeah.
can tell like he didn't really touch it. It was just like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he topples over. But I mean, you had to look at just the fact that
Yeah,
it's
they-
a
they-
very low budget movie.
Yeah,
here.
and the timing when it was made.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because fight scenes back then always used to look fake.
Yeah, I mean, in the 70s, he's literally used to have a man punch in front of the camera and then show the falling
Yeah.
cut of somebody falling,
Yes.
right? So, but for its time, what it managed to do, it just really broke new ground, though.
Yeah.
It set a new standard for horrors. It was not just the Bela Lugosi kind of, no offense, just show a spooky creature and hear a
Yeah.
scream, no, this was literally showing you what, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
instead of off-screen violence, we're literally going to show it right in front of you. We're going to show you blood. We're going to show you rotting corpses. We're going to show you zombies feeding on human flesh. We're going to show you that because nobody ever saw that before.
Yeah.
And that influenced so much filmmakers. Guillermo
Yeah.
del Toro,
Yes.
Robert Rodriguez with his Planet Terror movie, which I still read. I still really enjoy Planet Terror.
I do as well.
Edgar Wright. I mean, just the list goes on and on. Even Frank Darabont, I mean, who directed the first Walking Dead episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, they owe a lot to this movie.
You don't
here.
create a comic like The Walking Dead and say Night of the Living Dead did not
Did not influence you. at
influence
some
you.
point.
I don't
Of
think that's
course, yeah.
I think that's impossible.
Ironically, now, this the year itself, 1968, another movie that came out that year was Rosemary's Baby.
Ooh.
Another one of my favorite horror movies
Oh
of
my
all time,
God,
right?
yes.
And I don't know, it's just at the time, once again, like with cinema, it was just doing new things. It was straying away from the safeness of
Yeah.
of
Taking
Yeah.
chances.
taking chances, taking serious
and
risks.
you also got horror that was a lot more cerebral.
Yes.
Right.
You had the creature features of before, which drew a lot on gothic horror,
Yeah.
and those elements of what things that go bump in the night.
Right.
But in the 60s and 70s, what we started to get was horror that was taking a hard look at reality and then applying it. You have Rosemary's Baby and the horror of this, what is happening to your body as a woman who's pregnant, and
Yes.
the fears that go with that. And then you have things like Night of the Living Dead, and you have, it goes on and on like that. The Shining,
Which is my favorite horror movie of all time, by the way. Love that
right?
movie.
The Exorcist, all these things that just was so much more than just being a horror movie. And this is something, as a horror fan, that I've always defended the genre. And I love it too when I get friends to watch something, and then when I break it down for them, the allegories and the metaphors, and they're like, oh my God, I would have
didn't
never
think about
seen
that.
that. 'Cause
Yeah.
all I'm
Yeah.
seeing is blood and gore, and I'm not really I'm not looking at it that way, you
Yeah.
know? And so I have a lot of love and respect for this genre because of that. And movies like Night of the Living Dead is just something that will remain as iconic today as tomorrow, future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when a movie is great though, when 50 years from now you could read into it, even though admittedly Romero didn't really didn't go out of his way, to make a movie about race or whatever.
Yes,
It's just what happened at the end was
Consumerism
just
and
that,
all that,
right? Like
yes.
in the first movie, like it just so happened that a black man got killed.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to, really say anything other than that, really. But it's okay if you dig in deep and say, well, it's about America at the time and MLK and all that kind of stuff. It's okay to do that. That's the testament of a great movie when you could interpret it however it is you want to. It still makes it relevant and fresh. And that's the biggest thing I got out of this movie. That you can look at it, 60, 70 years from now and still get something new from it, right?
I just watched it this morning.
Yeah, like you watch it, you got a lot of it.
Yeah.
So for me, this gets a strong 4.5 out of 5, man. While I wouldn't give it an absolute 5, that's just because not everything is perfect, but really and truly for what they went for, just the energy, just the rawness that they put into this movie here. Yeah, George A. Romero and his team, did an excellent job with this one. This one has inspired tons of filmmakers, a lot of horror buffs, film buffs as well too. And I just hope that in the next 50 years it will continue to inspire us. So yeah, this is one of the best horror movies ever made, one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. I now have this big appreciation and love for this film. So yeah, strong 4.5 for me. Thimothy, your rating, see that you saw for the first time. It's fresh in your mind. So what would you give it at the moment? It's okay if you want to give it a 3, it's okay.
No, I was going to say I'm going to reserve the right to rate it
Right.
later on.
Yes.
Alright.
But just to entertain it, I would say I'll give it a 4. So
Yeah,
a
fair
4
enough, fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And probably when I see it again, it may go up, it may go down.
Yeah,
I don't
trust me,
see
it will
going
grow
down.
on you. It
Yeah,
will
I
grow
don't
on you
see
the
it
more you
going
see it.
down. I could only see it going up.
Yeah,
Right.
the more you see it, the more you really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Summer.
Well, me, I don't like to rate out of 5 because I find that scale is a little too small to work within. Right? So for me, this is a strong 9.5 out of 10. Just to the fact that I'm on the opposite end of the scale with Thimothy because I haven't seen it in forever.
Right.
And yet it is so fresh and relevant and it's just so memorable that I can see it like if I watched it last night, that sort of thing, And the flaws it had, it's because I think you have the product of its time with some of the characterizations.
Right.
And also the budgetary constraints.
Yes.
But what Romero managed to do with this movie, it's historical, and yeah, for me, I think it's a near perfect film.
Right. So guys, I know there's some people out there that have probably tried to stay clear of this movie. Maybe you don't like zombie flicks at all, but I do strongly recommend that you check it out. If you are a diehard Romero fan, if you're a diehard Night of the Living Dead
Well,
fan,
I think you're a
strongly
diehard
recommend.
fan, you've definitely
You buy this.
seen it.
Yeah, I mean, you need to get this.
But you
in
might
your
not have
collection.
the Criterion collection.
Yeah, please
version,
do.
yes.
And if you have seen it, feel free to let us know what you thought about it. Do you think it still holds up to this day?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's just an early zombie movie? I mean, it's not as great as, say, Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead or whatever it is. It's just there, But while, you can make the argument that maybe Dawn is better than Night, I would still say Night is better than Dawn in my opinion. I think just because of what it did, how influential it was. That, to me, is the best of his Dead series, you know what I mean? And just taking of the Living Dead, anything of the Living Dead, just that instantly conjures up this movie here. Just the premise, you know what to expect, it's zombies, you know everything about it. So that's just a testament to how great this movie is. So yeah, all you indie filmmakers out there, I mean, look to this movie. Look to this movie for inspiration. You can make dope shit. You can make it dope, make it relevant, and make it work, right? So, with all that being said, Thimothy, where can we find you online, good sir?
You can find me at Trini Point of View on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And while I'm at it, I don't know, probably Blue Water should give us a sponsor. I mean, how much Blue Waters we could drink.
I don't mind.
Refreshing.
Yeah, Blue Waters,
Maybe
if you're watching this.
Maybe we can do this more often.
Yeah. Summer, where can we find you online?
I'm Movie Junkie for Life on YouTube, and I'm also on Stardust, where I do 30-second reviews. Same name, Movie Junkie, capital M, capital G.
So yes, folks, this was our take on Night of the Living Dead. 50 years by 50 years, and I hope that in the next 50 years it will continue to inspire and freak us half to death. And make us hope that we don't get an apocalypse like this at any point in time,
God.
right?
And if we do, let's hope they're the Night of the Living Dead type of zombies and not the 28 days later type of zombies.
For real.
I
Yeah.
can't run that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last things last, we have to say rest in peace to George A. Romero. I
Yes.
mean, your influence will live on forever. Any movie with off and you were dead, instantly will conjure up your face and your image. So, I mean, you have just done so much for horror films, If it wasn't for him, horror movies technically wouldn't be where they are,
Yes.
So if it was, so guys like him, Stephen King, I mean, we had to look up these guys. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, this is Matthew and
Summer.
and
Timothy.
And like a wise man once told us,
They're coming to get you, Barbara.